Our next movie is a horror film named Carnival of Souls, and this one comes attached to a story. The movie was made in 1962 in Lawrence, Kansas on a low budget by an industrial filmmaker. He only spent $30,000 on it, but this movie has never been quite forgotten over the years, and now it's being re-released around the country as a cult classic just in time for Halloween. The movie stars Candace Hilligoss, I haven't heard of her again, as a woman who's a passenger in a drag race. After the car goes into a muddy river, she's the only survivor. Her occupation is church organist, but she doesn't exactly seem very spiritual.
Profane sacrilege.
As she drives to her new job, she begins to be followed by some kind of a ghost. That is actually the director there, Herc Harvey. Sometimes she feels like a ghost herself. Carnival of Souls looks and plays almost like a long-lost episode from The Twilight Zone, especially in the way it relies on everyday life for its drama instead of depending on a lot of special effects. The movie was directed by Herc Harvey, who has a nice eye for camera angles, which makes the ordinary small-town streets of this film look weird and threatening. Carnival of Souls is said to have influenced such later movies as Blue Velvet and Night of the Living Dead. In fact, George Romero says that he saw it before making his movie Night of the Living Dead. And I think it holds up pretty well 27 years after it disappeared into the twilight zone of B movies.
I like the various things that you named. The camera angles, the guy has a nice sense of how to shoot an interesting picture, and we see that. And I thought that actually the lead woman had a real strange quality about her, I mean, she's supposed to be playing somebody who may or may not be dead, and certainly she has a real strange quality to her, and that some of the line readings are kind of funny. And so it was a curiosity, and I enjoyed it on that basis. It isn't to me, it wasn't a particularly gripping film, but I enjoyed it as a curiosity 27 years later. It's a precursor to the pictures you named.
Yeah, the ending comes along very abruptly, but of course, since we know what the ending is going to be anyway, I guess wouldn't have liked it if it come along any more slowly. But the very texture of the film, this black and white small-town 1962 photography, gives it a horror feeling that you wouldn't necessarily get in another kind of film.
And a split decision on the revival of Carnival of Souls, the 1962 horror film that I found more of a curiosity than entertainment. Roger really liked. It's